First of all, we want to thank all of you collectively for taking this initiative to, take time off your jobs, various jobs, and travel all the way to Brussels here and the embassy here to come and express your concern about our common predicament. This is a predicament, and this is what is expected of all worthy citizens of the Gambia, to make the Gambia our common concern. Because we are all Gambians. The embassy is here for the welfare of Gambians, because even by virtue of our mandate, we are responsible for spreading, promoting the Gambia. You cannot promote the Gambia without promoting the people of the Gambia, the economic and social welfare of the Gambia. But when we talk about development cooperation, bilateral cooperation, everything is geared towards the development of the country. The country cannot develop without its people. So this is why when you have a mission, it's important to work with the diaspora of that particular country within your jurisdiction, because they have an important role to play. You are all ambassadors of the Gambia, and really you've made me so proud. I've always said that your association in particular, and all the other associations under my jurisdiction, are working very hard to make my job much easier. You have a stake. We all have individual stakes in our small part of the world called the Gambia. And I'm glad that you haven't taken that responsibility lightly, and you have not left it to the shoulder of the embassy. From day one, we had been monitoring events in Gambia. And we had been monitoring the election like we should in the Gambia, and the results were announced. The reaction we all know. And then a week later, the U-turn. Between the 2nd and the 9th, we received a lot of commendations here in the embassy. The flag of the Gambia was flying very, very high, simply because we observed a process that was free, fair, and at the end of the day, the will of the people was respected by the incumbent, and he came out strongly, which wasn't expected, but it was accepted, and commended by everybody. All our development partners, everybody was calling the embassy individually and collectively, congratulating us for a well-fought battle, that was very peaceful and done in a very orderly manner. So the U-turn on the 9th, we don't know what happened or what precipitated it, but it didn't go down well, individually and collectively, both within the Gambia and outside of the Gambia, Gambians and non-Gambians. I think that's very clear. As responsible citizens also, just like we said, Mr. Kamara came to you and said he is a diplomat, but a Gambian first. This is our philosophy. We are Gambians first. I've never gone to any Gambian gathering and talked about politics. It has never happened. I'm appointed by the executive, but my mandate is to seek the welfare of all Gambians and the country, not any single individual party. So I'm very, very conscious of that. I even deliberately, when I'm going to meetings, even by accident, if I wear green, I take it off. Because I don't want to send a message that I'm representing a party. So that I clear away certain elements of society, Gambians. I want Gambians to know that this is Gambia House. Every Gambian entering this premise, you should be proud that you are entering your house, because this is paid for by taxpayers. I'm appointed by the will of God to represent every Gambian. And this is why when I see problems here and there, I try to go there and try to contribute. Because your executive is playing a very important role. And I made it very clear when I had meetings with you, that don't allow small skirmishes to derail you from the important mission. And this is for Gambians to know that there is one entity that is representing all of us, and that is important. And this is why you are able to come here as an association. Therefore, I really value the support and the message that you are sending. On the 13th, after the ECOWAS team went to Gambia, and they were faced with, a rejection virtually. We were speaking among ourselves, the Gambian ambassadors in our various jurisdictions. And we are representing His Excellency the President in our various jurisdictions. So we thought it's fitting for us to also, try to see what we can do. Of course, there was a lot of this way, we should do it that way, that way. I sat here and I said, I have a duty and a responsibility because I was receiving phone calls from individuals, even from your own association. So I said, okay, let me write in my own capacity as ambassador representing this, some area. And I did that on behalf of all of you, my individual letter, appealing to him to say, sir, the people have given you a mandate 4 times. This time round, they're saying that they have voted for another Gambian. Every Gambian, all of you have a right to contest the presidency. It is not the domain of, one party or one individual. So this happened, and this is the will of Allah, which you accepted. Please observe it in the name of the peace of the Gambia that we all seek for our own selves and for our own children. But unfortunately, the response hasn't been positive. Collectively, as embassies or as ambassadors also, 11 ambassadors signed a letter to him, which we sent through diplomatic channel, although it found its way in the media, But again, saying the same thing, In fact, after we sent that letter, even the ambassadors that were sitting on the fence also came on board. But we told them, you need to write your own individual letters. So there is a collective consensus to say that what is happening in the Gambia is not right. It's not possible. For some of us, if at the end of the day the interest of the country is at stake and you don't speak, your conscience is not clear.
Definitely.
We have our people in Gambia. We can simply pack our bags and go back to our peaceful corner of the Gambia and eat our mbahal and our churagate. But if there is no country to go to, what happens to us? We've seen what is happening in the sub-region. In Guinea-Bissau, it happened there. There was bloodshed. In Guinea, it happened. There was bloodshed. Whenever you have external intervention, God forbid, there would be some bloodshed. And this is what we are trying to avoid. So we use everything in our powers, talk to our development partners, friends of the Gambia, the institutions. The ECOWAS has spoken loudly. African Union likewise. The UN took on a resolution, I think you all saw it, in the internet. The European Union, they sent out 2 statements. In addition to that, I was there week before last, myself and Mr. Dari. On 2 occasions I was there, appealing to them that in addition to the statements that you are sending out, send emissaries. Emissaries meaning that missions, envoys. To go and face him directly and appeal to him to say, can you observe the rule of law and the Gambian constitution, for which you are still the defender of that constitution until January 19th. We're still working on that. Even this morning, I had a meeting with the German embassy here, because my coverage includes Germany. But because this is the end of the fiscal year, there is no money in my budget. I decided that I would meet with the missions that are here, so that they can send a message to their various capitals. I've done that with Germany. Last week, it was the Netherlands and the Belgian Foreign Ministry. We have done that with institutions. The ACP, where Mahmoud works, he facilitated, I met with them. We also have a West African group, at the level of the ACP, chaired by the ambassador of Sierra Leone. We met, and we agreed that we're going to write, just like you've done, a statement, condoning the actions and appealing for him to see sense and allow the smooth transition. That letter also is in the ACP website. The ACP did that. In addition to that, the West African group of ambassadors, I had a call this morning from Senegal. They are going to take it further, and as a West African group, they are also going to send out a letter, to him, again along the same lines. So we're using every means, diplomatic means, possible to us. We are also making appeals. All the other ambassadors are doing what we're doing here, trying to, fan out and talk to friends of the Gambia, institutions, various countries that are friendly to the Gambia, including the Arab world. Last week we were at the OIC, they have an office here. They have an end of year reception. I use that platform to appeal to the OIC. They've already done a press release on the issue. But to appeal to the OIC so that as individual countries, especially Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE, so that in addition to the general statement coming out of the IEC, they can also do either individual statements or even send special envoys to Gambia. But as we speak, I understand that even special envoys are not being received. You know? So even if the special envoys are not being received, at least the letters, you know, could reach him. You know. And then of course, again, diplomatically we can arrange something and offer forward offers. Morocco, I appeal to the Belgian Ministry for Affairs here because they have strong bilateral relationships with Morocco. They also promised that they are going to work on that. So rest assured that diplomatically we are doing everything within our powers to ensure that there is a peaceful transition. We don't want come the 19th, the ECOWAS being mandated by the UN invoking Article 7, which means that they're going to send, you know, troops. You know, we don't want that. Nobody wants that. Because even if they promise that it's going to be precision or whatever, that is small. You know, it's very, very small. You know, and nobody knows what's going to be the reaction from his own end. Because he knows he's not going to sit down and wait for the troops to come. You know, he's going to fight back. But we don't want to get to that point. You know, and this is why I appreciate something like this. This is very valuable for me. You know, because it shows that you people have, you all have your families in Gambia. You also have a voice, you know, in the decision-making process, even though you have not voted, but you have a voice. Because as we speak, our economy is on its knees, and the only thing that's holding it up is remittances, the money that you people send for your people to back home. That is what's bringing in foreign currency. Because trade and commerce is at a standstill. It's at a standstill. So we all have something at stake. You know, and I really appreciate your coming out strongly and adding your voice, which is a very powerful voice to this fight. We shall also continue praying, you know, for peace in the Gambia, just like you said. It's not for our own individual interest, you know. But ever since on the 9th, that's when some of us stopped sleeping.
Everybody.
Even during this Christmas, you know.
6 o'clock in the morning, I called to Gambia because I couldn't sleep. You know.
You can't.
You cannot eat even.
You cannot eat. We have no Christmas. You know. No. You know, people are pretending to be smiling and moving around, but our hearts are bleeding.
It's like that also. People are moving their daily business, but you can feel that they are not okay, you know. Everybody is in fear.
This is it.
It's not fair, you know.
Well, the diplomat, I can assure you, because when I go and meet with the fellow diplomats, what I tell them is that their diplomatic voice has to be very loud and clear, because the Gambian people, especially Gambians within the Gambia, need to know that there is external support. You know, they need that to empower them, because they have been in the doldrums for too long. Now that they have spoken, you know, with their ballot box, ballot tokens, you know, really they need to know that the external world is listening to them, not only listening to them, but giving them that strong support. And this is why things like this are very, very important and valuable. You know, because if I was in Gambia today, I would be thinking, what is the rest of the world doing? We are crying. You know, are they listening to us? You know, what are they going to do? Because we are helpless. We cannot help ourselves. You know, and this is what would help them, knowing that at least externally, you know, people are speaking and they are doing whatever it takes to ensure that there is a peaceful transition. We still have time, and this is why we should not relent. You know, for me, my doors are open. I'm Gambian, and I'm throwing the Gambian line in the welfare of Gambia. And that was why I was appointed. Yes, I was appointed by the president, but not to seek his interest. No. You know, not to seek his interest. My appointment is to seek the interest of the Gambia. You know, and I feel I have to do that to the best of my ability. Whatever comes my way, I will take it as an individual. You know, but the country is bigger than all of us. You know, it's bigger than all of us. You know, it's bigger than all of us. So I appreciate the support. We will work very hard. If you feel that there is anything that we can do, both individually and collectively, We really appreciate it. We need all the prayers, we need things like this from all the associations. If you can talk to the other associations, that would just strengthen the cause. Let us not wait until on the 18th or on the 19th before we act. It's too late. It's going to be too late. That was the question that the German ambassador asked me. Ambassador, what happens if we wait until the 18th or the 19th? I said by then it will be too late. The Gambia is just like a small province in Germany. We are not used. We are peaceful people. What happened in Gambia on the 9th? If it was even next door in Senegal, people would have been out in the streets.
Of course.
But we don't know violence. We know peace. And that's embedded in our culture. And all of you, individually and collectively, let us also talk to our people to exercise patience, and restraint. Because any act of violence now, would give, the soldiers that are trigger happy, an excuse to carry out whatever. Because we don't know. We don't know why this course of action. I was a minister before. I tried to talk to cabinet members. They don't know. They're in the same situation that you and I are in. The only thing that's keeping things together there is this fear, and you all mentioned the fear. Everybody's afraid, from the bottom to the top,
Everybody.
Everybody's afraid, and unfortunately, people who are closer are in a worse predicament than people who are far away. This is the irony of the Gambia. This is why when I see social media, they're attacking people, I just smile to myself. It's like being close to a fire. It burns worse when you're close. I was there before. So you just keep quiet. But it's worse for people who are close there in those times because you cannot extricate yourself. All you can do is to pray for Gambia, pray for peaceful transition, and try to quietly, I don't know how we do it, but move beyond this phase in our development. Inshallah, it shall be good. After the 9th, after the 2nd, the indications that we were getting was that there is a lot of goodwill, for the Gambia. Even the suspended program under the European Union, they called me and they said, Ambassador, come January 18th, we are ready to go to Gambia. We have a package for you. The last 2 years it was very difficult, because the procedures are such that you have to observe certain rules and regulations. We violated all of them. We violated all of them. So sometimes I sit here, decisions are taken, I'm supposed to be the advisor. They take decisions that would affect, the Gambia coming from this end, and you're not part of it, and you wonder what is going on. But anyway, we hope and pray that those days are over. Past. After this impasse, it's going to be really a different Gambia. It's going to be a different Gambia. Granted, the new government coming in, they will have a lot of groundwork to do, but they're entitled to do their own mistakes. They're entitled to do that. They are mandated to do that after the 19th. They are mandated to do that. This is democracy, and we all have to fight to maintain democracy. It's not for one individual. It's for the voice of the masses to be heard. That poor woman that is sitting down in the farm, growing her rice or whatever, has a voice because she's paying taxes. Anytime she takes a transport to go to Banjul, she's paying taxes because that $5 or $10, $2 is going to the state coffers. Anytime she goes to the hospital, she's paying, taxes. This is how it is. So we are fighting for those people that are voiceless. And I would just implore that whatever you are doing, you continue doing it. I'm really proud of you. Because you could have said that we are safe, we're in Europe, Just lift your phone, take lens and buntai, you can learn and send money to your own individual families, but you're not doing that. Collectively you're coming out and seeing this as a national problem and treating it like that. Just we continue the battle and we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us what we want in a peaceful and tranquil manner. That's all we can do. But for us, we will continue what we do. We will not let go. That one I can promise you. Come January 19th until the transition process takes on peacefully, then we pack our bags and we know that at least we can go home and sleep. And inshallah, Allah will give us that.
I don't mean to be rude, but I just wanted to protest the point that you made. Had the statement of the 9th not been delivered, I'm just telling you this, that between December 15th